And a looper out toward left field. It's going to drop in front of Jason Worth. And the Phillies will walk it off as they walk off the series against the Washington Nationals. A bloop single by Cesar Hernandez scores Daniel Nava. The Phillies take 2 of 3 from the Nats, and they win it by a final score of 4-3. How do you celebrate a walk-off victory? Well, the next day you have a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. Yep, it's the first of the year here at Citizens Bank Park. You better have the mustard ready because there's going to be a lot of dogs being sold tonight. And yes, some Mets fans are rolling into Citizens Bank Park to see Game 1 of this 3-game series between the Phils and the Mets. So far in the National League East, we got a little bit of a logjam up top because the Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Nationals. Both of those teams are at 3-3. As are the Mets, who had a rough weekend against the Miami Marlins, who also sit at 3-3 in the National League East. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with John Kruk. We'll hear from Greg Murphy in just a little bit. All right, so the story tonight is the pitching matchup. And you look at the Mets and Jacob deGrom, it's kind of like pick your poison. He has been so good against the Phils in his career.
Yeah, and the bad thing coming in for the Phillies in this series, in this first game with Jacob deGrom is he's better. Talked to Ron Darling, the announcer for the New York Mets. He said he's popping his fastball back again at 97 to 98. But what you love with Jacob deGrom, if you're a Mets fan, is he can hit all 4 quadrants. Up and in, up and away, down and in. He can throw the breaking ball for strikes, and that too. Tom, he's an excellent fielder, great athlete, can swing the bat. And then he has that breaking ball that he can get hitters out with. But when he needs that one, right there it is, that 2-seam comeback fastball, there he gets the double play ball to finish off that complete game last year. He's better. His work's cut out for the Phillies. But the Phillies right now, Tom, with 2-game winning streak, are swinging the bats pretty well.
All right, so here are the numbers against the Phillies during his career. 7 starts, 4-0 with a 2.42 ERA. The other thing is that the Mets have had the Phillies number here at Citizens Bank Park. Their pitching staff had an ERA last year of just barely over 2 against the Phils. All right, so the Phillies will counter with Jared Eichhoff, who, despite the loss against Cincinnati, actually looked really good in his first starts.
Very impressive. And the thing that impressed me the most is he can pitch. He's not a thrower. He has an idea with every pitch that he throws of where he wants it and how he wants to execute it. He can run that fastball up and in. There's his bread and butter, though, that big 12-6 breaking ball. And then when you think, well, I'm going to set on that breaking ball, he'll throw that fastball. He will drop a changeup on you, but he's mostly a fastball, curveball. Look at Billy Hamilton right here. No chance at hitting that breaking ball. If Eichhoff's on with the breaking ball, he's commanding his fastball, we're going to have a low-scoring game tonight.
Well, run support was the big factor in that game against Cincinnati and maybe a factor again today. Can he get the run support to beat Jacob deGrom? So it's Game 1 of this 3-game series. Yes, the Mets fans were here in numbers last year. This is when they clinched the spot in the wild card. Please hope there's no more celebrations this year. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Philadelphia as the Phils get set to take on the New York Mets. Jared Eichhoff has finished up his warm-ups. Let's take a look at Terry Collins' lineup. Brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Reyes does lead it off, and then there's Drupal Cabrera, and then Cespedes. Bruce, Granderson, and Walker, followed by the bottom third of Duda, Darno, and Jacob deGrom. And there is Jared Eichhoff. Eichhoff, the 26-year-old, 0-1 so far with a 2.70 earned run average. And he's ready to go. So is Jose Reyes. Reyes off to a 1-for-23 start. And he takes the first pitch for a strike. We're underway. Scouting report on Jared Eichhoff. Last outing, 56% of his pitches were fastballs. That one is popped foul behind home plate, and it's 0-2 to Reyes.
That's what you want to do when you have a guy coming in early in the season struggling like Reyes is. Jump on him early. We said that about some Phillies players. It seems like every time you come up, it's 0-2.
And there's a breaking ball and a strike three called. So Reyes is down looking. Three pitches.
We talked about in the open. If he's commanding his fastball, he's going to get outs with that breaking ball, and that's what he did to Reyes. Fastball first pitch strike, jammed him on the second one, and then that 12-6. The old-time curveball gets him.
So that'll bring us Drupal Cabrera to the plate. Cabrera was 3-for-12 in the series against the Marlins. He finished up last year in a big way with all the injury issues the Mets had. There's a changeup on the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
That's Drupal Cabrera is a very aggressive hitter. He knows he doesn't want to get behind Eichhoff, so he goes and chases. Good thing Rupp and Eichhoff on the same page here with that changeup.
Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera in his last 41 games last year hit .341. There are a lot of folks that thought when the Mets signed him that it wasn't the smartest thing to do because he hadn't played shortstop consistently for a couple of years, but he's really played well for them.
Yeah, he's got some of the greatest set of hands I've seen. I mean, he's really talented fielder, and you know, it's last few years in Cleveland he started adding power to his game.
Foul ball, and it's 2-2.
Are you going to see it here, the old dewdrop?
I think you could, unless he throws him the changeup because he got him out front in the first pitch.
The book on Cabrera is if you can't throw it hard enough for him. He loves fastball, so we'll find out.
And he pulls that one foul down the right field line.
Joe West with that emphatic call down there.
Very emphatic. Well, 76 degrees. Temperatures got into the low 80s today in the Delaware Valley. Slight breeze, 12 miles per hour.
It was a beautiful day.
It's a good thing we got these pullovers on.
Yeah, good thing we had the long sleeves. It's all right. We'll figure it out. It's early in the season.
Inside and low, 3-2.
Aren't you the one responsible for the...
I am, and it's a very nice look, I think.
It is. And it's light, so it's not like the fleece one we had on the other day.
We would have been perspiring if we wore that.
Some of us are.
Out of play down the left field line. It remains 3-2. Home plate umpire tonight is Alan Porter, local guy. Joe West, as we mentioned, at first. Hunter Wendelstedt at second. And Andy Fletcher around at third. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Cabrera. And that one is pulled down the right field line. Saunders will not get to it. And it drops in for a hit. Cabrera is on his way to second, and he'll get there sliding. That's his first double of the year. In fact, first extra base hit. Well, John, now time for our Nissan keys to the game.
Well, Jared Eichhoff got to keep the Mets in the ballpark. The majority of their runs are scored on home runs. If he can keep them out of the seats, then he has a chance of winning this game. And you have to get Jacob deGrom not only early in the game, but early in the count. He has too many weapons, a plus fastball to put you away with. If you don't get him early, he's going to put you away late.
And as you mentioned during the outset, his fastball is back up into the high 90s, I should say. Here's Cespedes. Cespedes 4 for 22 so far. And the first pitch is on the outside corner. And it's 0-1. Good career numbers against the Phillies. Off to the same kind of start that he was off to last year. He was 4 for 20 last year at this point. 4 for 22 this year.
And he will chase. You got ahead. You don't have to throw him a strike to let him get himself out.
Yeah, they said that he did a better job last year with the high fastball. A lot of times they say that the key to getting Cespedes when you have 2 strikes is to throw the high fastball. And he started A, laying off it, and B, getting on top of it when he swung.
They say the same thing about Mike Trout, yet he wins MVPs every year.
Every year.
If those knuckleheads on the mound could throw it where they wanted to, no one would get a hit.
Upstairs again, 2-1.
Tell you what, though, here's where Cespedes, he might set breaking ball here. He's missed up high with 2 fastballs. He might think, okay, now I have to throw a strike, so I might just try to flip in a breaking ball. Careful if you hang it.
Outside.
Is that the cutter?
I think that was a slider, yeah. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, now he's got to be careful. 3-1 with Jay Bruce on deck. The Mets are toward the bottom in team batting average so far in the first week.
A robust 200.
Robust 200. He went after him with a fastball toward the outer half. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Check out his personalized elbow guard, his personalized shin guard. He's got his little silhouette on the shin guard.
I'm surprised he's able to move with all that stuff.
It takes him like 20 minutes if he walks to get all that stuff off. Look at that, huh?
Do you have any of those?
No. No.
He had the personalized wristbands, though.
No,
that's a big shin guard.
Yeah, he's got a lot of area to cover there.
And he threw him a fastball in, and he fouls it away.
And now this could be a situation right here where maybe Eichhoff flips up that breaking ball. He sped him up with the fastball in. See if he can get him to chase a breaking ball down. No idea what that sign would be.
Got him. Threw him the curveball. That's some interesting break on it, too.
Yeah, that looked more like a. It wasn't a 12-6. It was more like a regular breaking ball that breaks right to left and down. What though? It is a pitch. We said it. Cespedes will chase. Wow! Look how he missed that by a ton. That ball wasn't even in the dirt yet. But here's when a guy's struggling. Look at this. The pitch cast. Not one pitch in the strike zone.
That's remarkable.
But yet he strikes him out.
Well, you mentioned he will chase. Now Jay Bruce. Bruce 2 for 11 this past weekend. Overall hitting .250 with the 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. He takes one for a strike. It's 0-1. A lot of talk this past offseason. Would Jay Bruce still be with the Mets? There's some talk that he would once again go to the Blue Jays, but here he is in New York after they acquired him last year from the Reds. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's amazing how one pitch in this at bat, the double that Asdrubal Cabrera hit, has made this a stressful inning for Jared Eichhoff. 2 strikeouts and a double, no run scored, but you know.
That one is hooked toward right field. Saunders runs over. He's going to get under it. Yeah, it turns out to be a 21 pitch inning, but Eichhoff is able to leave Cabrera in scoring position. We'll move to the bottom of the first. Mets nothing. Phillies coming up. Turning point brought to you by Toyota. It was yesterday. Hernandez got that bloop out toward left, and that won the game.
When that ball left the bat, you thought, oh boy, that might hang up, but he jammed him just enough to get that little blooper in there, and Phillies get that series win, big one.
First time in almost 2 years that the Phillies have won a series from the Nationals here at home. And he's going to lead it off. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Phils, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Top 3 hitters have been red hot for the Phils: Hernandez, Kendrick, and Herrera. In fact, Odubel's hit safely in all 6 games. So he'll get the first look at Jacob deGrom. There's deGrom. Did not get a decision in his first outing. Struck out 6, though. And he is raring to go against Cesar Hernandez, who's hitting .269. And the first pitch, a fastball in there at 94 miles an hour.
You see the scouting report on deGrom. Average fastball 93. That was last year.
Yeah, they said that once they saw him in spring training, because I think there was a little trepidation from the Mets standpoint, because he had surgery in the offseason to move the UCL, the nerve in his right arm, because it was causing issues in September. But he was fired in spring training.
That postseason, I mean, he pitched a lot in the postseason, and Terry Collins, there was concern with, how would he respond the next year, and there were some issues, and apparently they're taken care of, although we kind of like this start.
Yeah, 3 balls and 1 strike. There's Terry Collins.
Good, funny man.
Been around for a long time in a Mets uniform. 3-2 to Hernandez. He mentioned something to Alan Porter about that pitch. 95 on that heater. Like Darno wanted a changeup. Slider at 89.
It was funny because I went over and saw Ron Darling, who was a Mets announcer. He said if these guys understood how hard it is to hit 95 to 99 down and away, he said they wouldn't throw anything else.
That's just it. He commands it so well, even though he just walked Cesar. So the Phillies have a base runner here in the bottom of the first inning, and Howie Kendrick is coming up.
Now here's the thing too, with we talked about in spring training the Phillies stolen bases and the speed, and we know Cesar can run. Darno not a great thrower. Most power pitchers aren't quick to home.
Cesar has not stolen a bag yet this year. The Phillies are 3 for 5 in the first 6 games. Oh, and 1 to Kendrick. Kendrick's off to a good start. In fact, the hits that he has 9 hits. This matches his career high, getting to 9 hits this quickly in a season. The Phils have certainly needed it. In fact, he was 6 for 13 in the National Series alone.
Had a long talk with Howie in Cincinnati, and he said how much he enjoyed spring training, enjoyed being around these young players and mentoring them and helping them. Desperately what the Phillies needed.
Foul ball, and it's 0-2. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Murray Manistero of Norristown. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Murray will win $200. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it. Bouncer over to first. Duda goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get. So Cesar's retired. 3-6 on the putout. You surprised that Cesar didn't try to run it all there?
Yeah, a little bit, especially right there. You know, you didn't know if DeGrom would throw another fastball. You know, you have to trust that Howie's swinging a good bat and put the ball in play if it's a strike. Tell you what, it was a good play though by Lucas Duda. He's not known for his defense, especially not known for his throwing. We saw that in the postseason in the World Series against the Royals, where he had some issues, and he made a good throw there to Cabrera.
I have to say, if he didn't get to it, then Kendrick would have been safe at first, because that ball wasn't hit that hard. Odubel Herrera is the batter. Herrera hitting .364. He's also walked 5 times so far. Another first pitch strike for DeGrom. I don't think Odubel agrees with it, although he looked like he was in agreement with Alan Porter after he got an explanation.
Well, common courtesy, you shake your head and under your breath you're saying, yeah, you missed that one.
0-2.
I think they understand that Odubel pretty much enjoys that first pitch fastball. This is what makes DeGrom so tough. Any one of 4 pitches he can put you away with here.
Bit high with that fastball. 1-2. We mentioned his velocity, how in his last game, or first game of the year, he was at 98 on a couple pitches. On the 5th pitch of the game, he reached 98. And he said, you know, after the game, he said, you know, last year I did everything I could to get to 93 miles an hour, because there was a lot of questions about his velocity being down even from the get-go last year.
What, he's got some salad too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he and Thor. You know what though? You know, you can see them too with that. Can you picture Matt Harvey with long hair like that?
No.
I just don't think it would look right.
No, it doesn't fit. Thor's got his contained a little bit because he's got the man bun going.
I love that.
Gesellman, guy right after your own heart with the almost like a mullet. 1-2 pitch coming to Odubel.
Well,
Howie dancing over there at first.
Yeah, he's trying to time it. You know, you get that internal clock, like, you know, 1001, 1002, he goes. 1001, 1002, he goes. But you see Howie right here, he's trying to time it. There he goes. DeGrom held it, which, you know, I mean, DeGrom's been around, but he's still young. But, you know, that's one way of keeping guys from running that can run.
Odubel fouls it away, staying alive. 1-2. Paul Goldschmidt is the only player in baseball that's gotten on base more times than Odubel in the first week of the season. Been a nice start for him. Off the hands, that'll be out toward left field. Reyes is out there. He can't get it. A little bloop hit for Odubel Herrera. That puts runners on first and second.
You want to see how to hit 300, you get those. DeGrom made a great pitch. Odubel up there. And the thing I like about his approach, we've seen it pretty much the first 6 games, and now this at bat. He's late on balls, but that doesn't mean he's running out and chasing balls and swinging early and striking out like Cespedes did. He's letting the ball travel. That was a great fastball by DeGrom, but Odubel fights it off. He gets that loop single. And what is that? It's like 3,000th career hit or something.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Hey, sometimes it's great to not have thoughts going on up there.
I guess so. He is funny. Here's Franco. Franco Had 3 home runs last year against the Mets. He's trying to get it going here. And he lines that one out toward right center field. And it's going to bounce right past Granderson. Kendrick read it well initially, but then realized, well, I better hold up and make sure it's not caught. And he stops. So he was 3/4 of the way. So he had to stop at third base. There's no question he had to stop there.
Yeah.
Because if we caught it, he might have been doubled up.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want, you know, is to end an inning with bad base running. But you know, look, Granderson, it was a do or die play. But watch how he's going. He's going. It's going to drop. Uh-oh, he's closing in. Oh gosh, he missed it. You know, Juan Samuel, no choice but to hold him at third base. And hey, bases loaded, 1 out. If you'd have told Pete McCann you're going to have the bases loaded, 1 out in the first inning against Jacob deGrom, who's pitched well against you, what would you take?
Take that.
Yeah.
Here's Saunders now. He can get the run home with a fly ball.
Hope he starts early and looks in.
Saunders does not agree with that first pitch strike by Alan Porter, who's already hearing it from the Phillies dugout.
Yeah, well, a couple pitches. Not him. That's
At the bottom of the zone.
Pitchcast says it's strike, and I guess we'll go with that. It's a strike.
We have to agree with Pitchcast.
Should get a wire down to Larry Bowa so he didn't get thrown out.
And a line drive, base hit it to right field. 1 run will score. Holding at third is Odubel Herrera, and Saunders has given the Phils a 1-0 lead. Nice looking swing right there.
Really good swing by Michael Saunders, and you know we've seen it. T-Mac the first 6 games, it's fastball hard in on Michael Saunders, hard in. Matt Stairs had him make an adjustment, but that's a slider. And you know, when you have trouble with the fastball in and someone throws you a slider, you hear that slider bat speed. I mean, he was on that like he knew it was coming. And Howie, who feels better than Howie Kendrick right now? I mean, he did the right thing, but you still feel like, man, I should have scored. I should have scored. So now we have a salute. We have a tip of the cap.
I wonder what Cameron Rupp's going to do.
Hit a grand slam and do a cartwheel at home. What the heck?
Cameron 1 for 4 in the series against the Nationals, and he takes outside. .200 for the year. Opposite field home run in that series against the Nationals.
I wouldn't mind seeing an opposite field double.
Yeah, they play him the pole. At least Granderson is just a step. I'm surprised too.
Am I wrong? Is there only 1 out?
1 out.
And I don't understand why. I mean, I know Cameron doesn't run great, but I mean Lucas Duda is deep at first. And you look where Reyes was playing. Odubel has to get a big jump right here in case he hits a grounder, a slow roller to third. Reyes charges it. You want to make him throw to first base here.
Andrew Knapp caught yesterday, picked up his first major league hit.
Hey, well, this would be a good one for Brock Stassi to get his first one off of.
Outside, he checked his swing. You got to look fast with Joe West.
Cowboy Joe.
Got to look fast.
He's not. Yeah, he's getting a little older. He's not as emphatic as he used to be. You know, he's more laid back and subdued.
Yeah.
Until Larry Bowa starts yelling at him, then things get fun. But tell you what, Cameron's got to set something hard away and try to drive it the other way. And they're coming in.
And it sails out, and it's 3-2.
Wanted it in, but it went away. I was surprised they were thinking coming in because 3-1. That's, you kind of want to look middle in. It's getting up on
yes,
it.
It did.
Out battling Cameron.
Ball 4, and that'll force it a run. And DeGrom not too pleased as Herrera will score. It's 2-0 Phillies on top. It's hard not to be jumpy when it's 3-2 like that, too. These first innings, John.
They're amazing.
Dan Worthen out to talk to him. Phillies averaged 9 runs for the 3 games, 9 runs per game because of the 17-run performance on Saturday, but they had 15 extra base hits. They scored 27 runs in the 3 games, now 10 in the games other than Saturday. They were also 15 for 33 with runners in scoring position this past weekend.
And you're looking at, they're putting together really good at bats, and that was a great at bat right there by Cameron. You know, 3-1, he took a shot, came up empty, but didn't chase out of the zone, gets the bases loaded walk for an RBI. You know, Franco staying up the middle, great piece of hit, and Saunders. It's a lot better than it was last year from everything
Absolutely.
I've been told.
Now Stassi with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. He figured he was getting a fastball.
Yeah, here's the big thing, if I can find my thing. Right there, first inning, 26 pitches for DeGrom. Stassi gets on base, looking at a 35 pitch inning.
Popped it up. Garneau off with the mask.
Get out of play.
But it is out of play. So he did that a couple times yesterday. Stassi, is he jumpy? Is he out front too soon?
Nah, you know that one there looked like he's late. Ball's beating him in. You know, again, your thought is, and this is what's awful. Like in the minor leagues, I love this at bat. But in the big leagues, your first few at bats, this is like, oh boy, don't hit into a double play. Don't hit into a double play.
Pete said today that there's no reason Tommy Joseph isn't playing except for that he wants to give Stassi a game, just like he did in Cincinnati. He wanted to give him a game the first week. And he figured with the right-hander that throws as hard as DeGrom, it might pay off to have Stassi in there. And he's down the left field line.
Well, we know the arm's in the outfield. Yoenis Cespedes has a great arm. Curtis Granderson, well below average arm. Jay Bruce, strong arm, accurate. But with Cespedes especially, if there's a base hit, you know Franco's going to score to left. Saunders, if Juan Samuel sends him, Cameron Rupp got to think about going because Cespedes, he likes to throw it all the way.
Upstairs, checked his swing, 2-2. Phillies are second in Major League Baseball in pitches seen per plate appearance, which is a huge jump from last year. Tapper back to the mound. DeGrom's got it. There's 1 and 2. So a 1-2-3 double play and the inning is over. However, the Phils score 2. They pick up 3 base hits. We'll go to the second. 2-0 Phils on top. MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. If you had that app, you could have watched the Phils' heroics in the bottom of the 9th inning. You also could have stayed up and watched the Mets game last night against the Marlins, which they won 5-2. Noah Syndergaard dominated for the Mets.
That can't be fun.
Yeah, the Mets scored 3 runs in the first inning in yesterday's game, so they got off to a good start. We've watched that the last few days with the Phillies, how good it is to get some runs early. Inside to Granderson.
I mean, the way they score runs for Jared Eichhoff, he's got to be like, whoa, what am I going to do with this?
That's the thing about Cincinnati, that game against the Reds. He pitched so well. And in the 7th inning, he gave up the home run to Votto on the curveball. But he's allowed 3 earned runs or less. I mean, this is dating back to last year in his last 9 starts. Last 8 last year and the first one the other day. Curveball and a strike 3 called on the inside corner. 3 Ks already for Jared Eichhoff. And that'll bring Neil Walker up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, one of the big storylines out of yesterday's ball game, a strange scene in the 6th inning. Jeremy Hellickson had been cruising along in the game against the Nationals. 5 innings pitched, he allowed just the 1 hit. But when he went out to the mound in the 6th inning, he started feeling a little bit of numbness in his left forearm and then in his right forearm, and then a very strange scene because his fingers started to curl together and he couldn't straighten them out. That's when he called for his catcher Andrew Knapp to come out, and that's when the Phillies trainers went out to take a look at him. They had to remove him from the ball game. If you watched yesterday, you saw all of that unfold. They told us just cramping in his right forearm was the final diagnosis. They got him some fluids, and I talked to Jeremy today. He said he feels fine today. Very strange scene. First time he's ever experienced that. He wasn't exactly sure what was happening, first in the left arm and then in his pitching arm. But good news is nothing serious, and Jeremy Hellickson should be on time to start his next start, guys.
Well, and he was after the game yesterday, and he even said this today. He was conscious of the fact that his pitch count was low, and he was cruising in yesterday's ball game.
Yeah, his first start in Cincinnati, his pitch count was low too, and that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, though. I've never seen that. Like, you know, everyone has had cramping of some sort, calf, you know. I mean, the trainer was trying to straighten his finger out and couldn't.
Kept going back. Outside ball 4, so Walker walks. First walk issued by Eichhoff. Well, and obviously everybody hoped it was just a cramp, because sometimes when that happens, people think all of a sudden that there's a ligament issue.
Yeah. Well, anything having to do with the elbow, forearm, yeah, you always think the worst, but like you said, I never dreamt that it would be cramping of the fingers.
I think the thing that was funny was what Murph said, is that it started in one arm and then the other arm.
Yeah, apparently the cramp realized, oh, he's a righty.
Yeah, let me cause some issues and go to the other arm. 1 ball, no strikes to Lucas Duda. 19 home runs against the Phillies during his career. Even though the Mets won the wild card last year, they missed his bat once he was done for the season. And that one gets away from Cameron Rupp. A little air of wildness here from Jared Eichhoff.
He pitched so well to Granderson to get the strikeout to start this inning, and all of a sudden it seems to me that it's, you know, what you're told as a pitcher. If you're going to pitch in, if you're going to miss in off the plate. He did it the first couple pitches with Neil Walker, and now he's doing it with Lucas Duda.
That was charged a pass ball to Cameron Rupp, by the way. And ball 4. Back-to-back walks for a guy who averages less than 2 walks per 9 innings. Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Bob McClure out to the mound. I wonder what you say when you're a pitching coach when a guy who has great command walks 2 batters in a row.
I mean, I'm hoping with d'Arnaud coming up, being a right-handed hitter, it changes his perspective. You know, the 2 lefties, like I said, I mean, he pitched great to Granderson, mixed his pitches up, but you know, as soon as Neil Walker came up, Cameron Rupp wanted the ball in, and he missing in off the plate, get behind, and same thing with Lucas Duda.
Probably needs himself a Hatfield dollar dog.
Probably needs a Hatfield dollar dog, yeah.
Ketchup and mustard. Is that how you go?
I can go either one, both, mayonnaise.
There's a breaking ball and it's 0-1.
Just not a fan of relish. No relish.
No relish, but mayonnaise.
I've had mayonnaise. Yeah.
Yeah. How about some cheese?
Sure. Onions.
Ground ball left side. Freddie's got it. There's 1 and 2. Well, that's a good way to erase the 2 walks. 6-4-3 double play. Phillies defense has been impeccable so far this year. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left for the Mets. Well, right place, right time. They got the rollover from d'Arnaud, and those 2 guys have been fantastic to start the year. Jacob deGrom delivers to Freddie Galvis to start the 2nd, and a fastball, and it's in there. How big was his base hit yesterday in the 9th inning? I mean, seriously. I mean, it gave the Phillies a chance to keep the line going. Fly ball center field. And 1 out. And here comes Eichhoff.
I think that's one thing you want to keep Freddie from doing is trying to hit home runs and hitting a lot of flyouts. Now, you've seen him obviously a ton more than I. Does he have opposite field power?
I don't think it's consistent.
Doubles,
opposite field power.
But doubles.
Oh yeah, I think he can to left center field. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's, yeah, he's going to see that a lot. Just fastball away, hit it as far as you want in the air.
So you're saying that the next step is to consistently drive it to
Yeah.
left center field.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, if it's not going to go out, ain't no use hitting a fly ball over there.
Deepest part of the ballpark. 1-1 to Eichhoff, and he breaks his bat. I mean, that is litter. Whew. Cesar's going to have to take a couple pitches just to let the fueling come back into the hands of Jared. Well, this Wednesday, when the Phils take on the Mets, the Phillies cell phone wallet. Visit Phillies.com to get your tickets now. There it is. We got some samples in the office today, and they look just like that.
They do.
Yep.
Identical.
Identical. Kids are going to love it.
Yeah, I got to get some for my kids.
Well, there's a box in there.
I saw that.
They're all yours. Because Murph already has one on his phone. He's got the South Carolina one.
And Murph went to college
At St. Joseph's.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
All meshes together. He is donating a lot to South Carolina, though. Right?
A lot.
A lot.
Yes.
A lot.
Hefty donations.
Yep.
Murph, you know, the highlight of my day is going in that office we have back there and just going over the game plan with you.
Well, it's also the highlight of my day, John. Seeing your smiling face.
Oh, yeah, I'm cheery.
I thought the highlight of your day was when the line was short in the lunchroom, that you're like, I'm in.
How special was that tonight?
There's nobody.
No one.
I mean, it was crowded early. And then it was a little light later on. 1-1 strike to Cesar, and it's 2-1 as he takes up and away. Cesar walked his first time up. This will be the 40th pitch. 41st pitch, I should say, for DeGrom.
It's a good take right there.
That's another good at bat. We mentioned it as they work these counts.
What another nice crowd for a Monday school day. I'm assuming the kids are in school.
Some are on break because of Easter and Passover. Hatfield Dollar Dog Night.
Tell you what.
Ground ball to first. Big hop for Duda. 3 unassisted. Phillies go down in order. They're half of the second inning. 2 of the Bucks out to the third. Jacob deGrom will lead it off for the Mets when we get back. Question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, John, here we go. Who are the 3 Mets managers to lead the franchise to 2 postseason appearances? Well, one's easy because you can just peek down and look at them.
Yeah.
The rest will be revealed a little later on.
2
more.
2 postseason appearances.
Yep. Now, one, it took them. I think it took some time in between. There's DeGrom, who is 0 for 2 to start the year, and he hits that one out toward left, not deep. Howie Kendrick is under it, and one away.
Like that, 2 pitches. Get the pitcher out on 2.
Well, as you mentioned too, that double play meant that DeGrom was leading off. As Reyes takes inside. Well, John, we want to welcome you to your first Hatfield Dollar Dog Night since 2003. Boy, the Fanatic looks like he's angry. It's angry Fanatic.
6, 7, 8,
9. All right, 1 per inning. 10 extra innings. And whatever's
Wow.
left over.
What am I on a diet?
That ride to Ocean City is going to be comfortable tonight, huh?
Apparently I'm on a diet. He only gave me 12.
That's just a start. We're going to time you. John is Smiley. Smiley John.
What's going on, Smiley? That's what they call me.
Yeah.
Smiley, Mr. Happy.
1-2 the count to Reyes. Swing and a miss. Hey, Fanatic, John likes either ketchup, mustard, or mayonnaise on his hot dog.
Or all 3.
Or sauerkraut. Look out, Smiley. Is it still there?
Tell you what, I knew you were a talented thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really. That's what I'm going to feel like if I eat all these hot dogs.
There you are.
Oof.
Here's Cabrera, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Well, this is the first of many. And by the way, that is the bobblehead of the month that's being sold at the Majestic Clubhouse store. It's in honor of the Fanatic with his hot dog shooter with the Hatfield logo on it. Very nice. Very nice.
My son went out there alumni weekend a couple years ago with Schmitty. Schmitty took him out on. I couldn't find him
on the hot dog shooter.
Yeah, and he's down there on the field with Schmitty. I'm like, oh.
Smiley going to be shooting off some hot dogs tonight. Oh boy. Swinging or check swing. No, says the third base umpire. Well, I think that the college kids are very excited that it's Dollar Dog Night tonight. I think John's very excited. We all are that it's Dollar Dog Night.
They had Dollar Dog and Dollar Beer Night.
Oh.
I
Happy day.
I hope I'm not announcing that day.
It would be that outside.
I don't get no green hair in this thing.
You like everything else on it. What's wrong with the green hair?
I told you I didn't like relish.
Oh, no relish. Well, it's kind of green.
Oh.
What do you think, John?
We better grab one now.
Here's the 2-2 to Cabrera. Swing and a foul tip. Back-to-back strikeouts. Guys, it's always nice having you up here. Appreciate the success that the Phils had while you were here. Hatfield Dollar Dog Night here at Citizens Bank Park. We're up to 12 so far. Uh-oh. That guy's got 4. He's on a pretty good pace. Look out, everybody. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. And by Papa John's. The day after every Phillies win, get 50% off regular menu price pizzas using the promo code Phillies. Bottom of the third, Phillies lead at 2-0. Howie Kendrick will lead it off.
What? I don't want to jinx anything, but these pitchers are working quick.
They are. Well, Larry Anderson already jinxed the whole thing earlier. Remember, he made that comment about the speed.
Oh, it's like a daily occurrence with
pitchers duel. One down. 2-0 pitch to Kendrick. That's on the inside corner, 2-1. How much do you think it's invigorated him that he's, he knows he's playing every day? I mean, if he was in Los Angeles, he probably wasn't going to play every day, or at least that was the thought. As he pulls that one past Reyes into left field. And he's aboard. That's his 7th hit of this homestand.
I think Howie's the type of guy that he doesn't care where he plays. I mean, I would assume he'd prefer to play second, but he understands the importance of Cesar Hernandez to this team, batting from that leadoff spot. And like he said, when he was told, look, you're going to play 140 some odd games in left field, that's all you ask for, especially a veteran player. Of course, then it becomes up to you whether you play those 140 games. And the way he's swinging it, he's probably going to play 140.
Odubel hits it in the air to right center field. Bruce on the run out toward the alley. He's looking for help, but he's able to make the catch. Well, that was a great recovery by Jay Bruce, because he was looking at Curtis Granderson the entire time. 1 out.
Yeah, Jay Bruce ran a long way for this ball, but watch Odubel.
Uh-oh.
The wonderful, wonderful world of Odubel. No basket catch, but see where Granderson's playing in left center field, and Jay Bruce playing, it's kind of like the pull a little bit.
Yeah.
Long way to catch that.
That's a good catch. As Franco swings and misses the first pitch.
You're not going to get a first pitch fastball for a base hit this time. That tip of the cap with a single and a bat flip on a fly ball to right.
It's all about perspective. Just entertaining himself.
Be a good world to be in, wouldn't it? The world of Odubel.
Outside again, 2-1. You had guys like that, though, that you played with, right? That just got to roll with it.
Bat flip?
Not the bat flip.
I'm trying to think. Gary Templeton was pretty even-keeled, laid back. Strikeout, home run, he never changed.
Away, and it's 3-1 to Maikel Franco.
Every pitch has been away. Got him swing at that breaking ball the first pitch. And tried to come with a couple fastballs and a breaking ball to see if he can get Franco to chase. And now he's in the driver's seat as Franco.
And a line drive base hit it to left field. Kendrick will hold up at second base. Phillies have first and second with 1 out. Phillies fans never miss a CSN game with the NBC Sports app. Stream every pitch, hit, and run on CSNPhilly.com and the NBC Sports app all season long. Came in handy with the NBA season and the NHL season. Flyers finished yesterday. Sixers finished tonight. And now it's just the Phils.
Sixers at home?
The Sixers are finishing up at home tonight, and then they have one more on the road. They'll be in New York.
Who's going to get out of here first?
Well, pitcher's duel. Michael Saunders now the batter. Saunders had an RBI single his first time up.
See if DeGrom stays hard this time on him.
Nope.
No. Wow. I mean, that is all we saw. At least, if he saw 5 pitches, 4 of them were fastballs in.
No question.
Now the Mets are pitching him completely different.
Why do you think that is? You think it's because maybe they feel like he's adjusted?
You know, they watch games, they hear, you know, maybe they think that moving him back 6 inches would cause him to get to those pitches in better.
Again, a soft one, and it's 1-2.
Like it's change up by DeGrom.
87 miles an hour.
Yeah, you saw it. Pretty much had every finger on that ball. That great action down and away. Now you wonder if they're going to try to finish him up inside. I mean, he's yet to see a fastball.
So as a hitter, you would have been surprised by the approach they've taken. Like you're in the box thinking, man, what are they doing?
Well, I'd have been in the on-deck circle thinking, wow, this is interesting that, you know, he's susceptible to fastball and yet they haven't thrown him one yet.
And they go soft again. A ground ball right side. Duda's got it. And DeGrom's there to cover. Well, maybe that's the game plan that they'll use.
Hasn't seen a fastball yet.
No. And you're right. Particularly the first couple games of the year, all he was seeing were fastballs in. Red Series and the first game of the National Series.
Look at that downward tilt right there. You know, you mentioned Jacob deGrom, a former shortstop, good athlete, fields his position well, can run.
Well, he walked Rupp his first time up with the bases loaded. It was only the 3rd time in DeGrom's career. I mean, again, he's young, but he's been in the big leagues for several years. It's only the 3rd time that he has had a bases loaded walk. It's all part of the storyline because, you know, the Phillies are making him work. He's thrown 57 pitches, and we're not even through the 3rd inning. That's not lost in the Mets dugout. They're already thinking, all right, well, who are we going to get up first?
Yeah, it's, you know, when they had a late night, you know, everybody probably but DeGrom, I'm sure they sent him on early. You know, they told us they got here about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Popped him up. Duda is in foul territory. He's got a beat on it. Side is retired. The Phillies got a couple of base runners, but do not score. They leave 2 in scoring position. We'll move to the 4th. 2-0 Phillies on top. when you combine your home and auto insurance. Talk to an agent today or call 800-STATE-FARM. You could save hundreds when you combine home and auto. State Farm, here to help life go right. We'll move to the top of the 4th inning. Folks at WIP handed out some Chris Christie masks for tonight's game. Get some lookalikes. Chris Christie, of course, a Mets fan, the governor of New Jersey, and did not have some kind words to say about the city of Philadelphia and its fans.
Well, he should show up here to a game.
You know, he was here last year for a game,
yeah,
and treated so well and looked like he was having a blast 4 rows behind the Phillies dugout.
But yet then he wants to talk about the Philly fans.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That's what happens when you don't need votes anymore. 1-0 pitch to Cespedes. Breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
He should. The way I feel about it, if you're going to pop off about the Phillies fans, you should come to a Phillies game and announce you're coming and
take it.
Take what you get. You know, it's easy to be, you know, another state and a half away, you know, up in North Jersey and you know.
Towering pop-up on the left side. It'll be Galvis who makes the call of the catch.
Oh, boy. Hey, let me tell you something, though. When you're scoring runs, you're swinging the bats, this is stuff you can do. This happens a lot with the Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian Beltre and
Freddie's already laughing as the ball's coming down. Ball girl enjoyed it, too. Gotta have fun, I guess.
Maybe the culture's changing around here, and they're starting to enjoy playing and winning.
Down the right field line, and look out. That ball was scorched into the crowd.
I got so confused. Who did catch that, Freddie?
It was Galvis.
I think Jay Bruce, a pull hitter. Look at this shift.
3 infielders on the right side, and Saunders is deep in right field. Curve ball hit high in the air to right center field. Odubel's back, and that one is gone. That's a towering home run for Jay Bruce, and he makes it a 2-1 ball game. Well, that ball immediately came back onto the field. Is that the same pitch that Votto hit in Cincinnati?
The hanging breaking ball. Rupp wanted it down low, maybe even a bouncing after he hooked his fastball foul. He just stayed up in the strike zone.
Granderson hits it into the shift. Cesar is up with it. And there are 2 outs. Well, that one went an estimated 400 feet off the bat of Jay Bruce. Yeah, that's his 3rd home run of the year.
He hit one last night off of Edinson Volquez for the Marlins. Maybe he's starting to get hot. Maybe that's registered the Phillies dugout and Cameron Rupp and Jared Eichhoff, and if there's a situation maybe to pitch around him, you take your shot at it.
Walker swings at the first pitch. All right, this should be Galvis again, John. It is. Side is retired, but the Mets do get a run back of the home run by Jay Bruce. We've played 3.5 on to the bottom of the 4th. Let's take a look at our State Farm combo, and we look at the two young starters for the Mets. We're not even throwing Matt Harvey into that because last year Syndergaard and DeGrom combined to have an ERA of under 1 against the Phillies in 29 innings of work. They struck out 28. DeGrom, the opposition hit 188. Phillies opposition hit 188 against DeGrom last year. I mean, that's not getting a whole lot of runs. State Farm here to help life go right.
New year, new offense, better approach. Come on, Brock, get you one right here.
See if he can get a hold of one of these fastballs just to relax himself a little bit. 0 for 5 so far in his first big league season. That's a pitcher's pitch right there, 1-1. Ground ball right side. And Walker throws out Stassi. Oh, we saw the Fanatic earlier, and Sunday, April 23rd, it's the Fanatic's birthday, sponsored by Citizens Bank. Join the Fanatic and all his friends, as well as the Galapagos gang, for a fun and festive birthday celebration. And also, fans 14 and under will receive the free Fanatic cap. Go to Phillies.com for more information and to order your tickets. Galvis fly to center his first time.
I'm really confused with this stump the fan.
Well, you have two, right?
Yeah.
I think you'll get the other one if you just think about some of the folks that you've worked with over the years.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I couldn't think who was in between the two managers that I had.
No balls and 2 strikes to Galvis.
Come on, Freddie. Ground ball to shortstop for a base hit.
There you go. Off the end of the bat, right past Cabrera. It's having a vision right there, John Kruk.
You know, that they're pitching him away. They're hoping he tries to elevate the other way like he did his first at bat. And, you know, I mean, look at that. It's a changeup. Freddie just stays on it. And that's, you know, 2 strikes. You give yourself up. You know, you just try to put it in play and hopefully good things happen. With the, you see where Cabrera's playing, he was playing him, shading him up the middle, and that's, like I said, you know, a routine grounder to shortstop with anything on it, it's a base hit.
Wyckoff grounded out his first time up. He did not have a sacrifice bunt last year, and he bunts that one toward first, foul. As good as an athlete as he is, it was actually kind of surprising that he did not have a sacrifice bunt last year.
I couldn't imagine bunting off Syndergaard, DeGrom, Aroldis Chapman. Oh my gosh.
Ooh. That wasn't the best pitch to bunt, but it's coming in 92. Split second decision, and he bunts it foul. It's 0-2.
When you see it too, Eichhoff's turning around, squaring around early, and Duda and Reyes are right on him, and DeGrom's bouncing off the mound.
That almost left the pitch cast.
I mean, you wonder if he would have pulled his bat back, if Darno would have been able to catch it.
And Eichhoff is down looking on strikes. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota, let's go places. By WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for fast delivery? Nobody does it better. And by T-Mobile. Only T-Mobile lets you stream, post, and share all things MLB. With T-Mobile One, unlimited data means unlimited baseball. That is the first strikeout for DeGrom tonight.
Freddie's ready to go here in a minute.
Out toward left field. Cespedes on the run. He's going to get to the spot.
I don't guarantee he's going to catch it once he gets there. He dropped one last night.
No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the, or top of the 5th, I should say. 2-1 Phils. Jet printers deliver unmatched quality in their Jet Intelligent toner cartridges. Print up to 1/3 more pages. Get yours from who? But WB Mason today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP. Lucas Duda will lead things off as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Duda walked his first time up. Eichhoff has allowed only 2 hits so far. One ball and no strikes. People talk about, what the Phillies rotation could look like in years to come because they have so many young pitchers. I mean, this guy really could be, despite the fact that you look at his overall record, he's 4 under 500. But, once the team continues to get better, his win-loss record will probably be better. I mean, he could be a 1 or a 2 on a lot of teams, just because of his ability to pound the strike zone and really not give in.
And keep you in games. And, got to be very pleased with Aaron Nola's start the other night. It made it easier if they scored 12 in the first.
And he'll be the first to admit that.
But he still is, when you take the score away and you look at the velocity, the movement, the command, really good.
Good sign yesterday in Lehigh Valley that Ben Lively and Nick Pivetta both pitched well and both picked up victories. Swing and a miss. He went after a high heater. That's 6 strikeouts.
And Eflin, when he gets back. Well, this is what you get when you have a bunch of guys who swing for the fences. They will chase up, especially when everything was down, down, down. You see that one up, and it just looks so big till you start to swing, and then it's by you.
Travis d'Arnaud hit into a double play his first time up. Swings at the first pitch.
And we appreciate it.
Sure do. That is the 3rd first pitch out for Eichhoff. And there are 2 outs. Well, it was announced today that Pete Rose will be inducted to the Phillies Wall of Fame during ceremonies August 12th. Pete played 745 games with the Phillies, was so instrumental in the 1980 World Championship and the run to the postseason in '83, even though Tony Perez got a lot of time toward the end. And Murph, I think when everybody saw his name on the ballot this year, it was leaning toward him being the person that would be inducted.
Yeah, you know, it would be really difficult to make an argument against Pete Rose being on the Wall of Fame out there. And, you know, some of his teammates obviously are in the ballpark tonight. At least one of them, Larry Boa, had a chance to talk to the media today about Pete and about the honor that was bestowed on him. And, you know, he said, look, he was the missing piece. And we've heard that. If you're a Phillies fan, you've heard that over the years. But when he came in '79, you know, he kind of instilled a confidence in the team despite they were a really good team. They knew that. They were talented. But he was able to come in and show them that they were the best team in baseball. He did that for them. And, you know, Larry said he can't wait until that day in August because he thinks this ballpark is going to be electric. Because one thing he is certain of, Philadelphia fans appreciated the way that Pete Rose played baseball, and they're going to show him on that night for sure.
And just seeing the quotes, Pete is extremely excited about the chance to be back here in Philadelphia and to be inducted into the Wall of Fame. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th after this. Tonight, there's another one coming up on Wednesday, April 26th, when the Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. It's the second Hatfield Phillies Frank Dollar Dog Night of the season. Go to Phillies.com to order your tickets today.
I don't think I'm here for that one.
Oh, really?
Pretty disappointing. I'll have to make up for it today.
We can save you some. Think that little guy's going to eat all 3 of those?
Looks like he can handle it.
Howie Kendricks leads it off, and he takes inside. Howie singled his last time up and scored a run his first time up after reaching on a fielder's choice.
That's a veteran hitter right there. 2-0 count. Howie's natural swings inside out. He was looking to leave there.
Yeah, I think it shows you that even though a guy has a natural swing going inside out sort of the other way, they can turn.
Yeah. And then DeGrom makes a great pitch away. And now the battle starts.
Time is called. Darno went through a bunch of signs. DeGrom by inning, well, it's kind of gotten better as it's gone on. That's why you mentioned it's important to get runs early and go after him early in the count. Although he has just the 1 strikeout tonight. Slowly to shortstop. Cabrera charging. Bare hands. Throws. One hop. In time.
Oh, it looked like Lucas Duda might have bobbled that a little bit. Didn't look like he had to clean his glove. And man, I tell you what, when you watch, I was watching that play. As soon as Joe West signaled out, Larry Bowa popped off the bench to get to the phone. Let's take a look here. And Cabrera was doing this when he was in Seattle, Cleveland. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think that's in there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's been doing that for a while, and that's, yeah, they got him. Really good play by on both ends.
I remember when he was with Cleveland in particular, Cabrera, he would make those plays up the middle better than any shortstop at that time. That's why when he went to the Nationals and he was playing second base, you almost thought that it was kind of a waste for him to be at second base.
Yeah, they had Ian Desmond at the time playing shortstop, and we know about his power from the shortstop position.
Low it in, 1-1.
Tell you what, though, he made himself a valuable player when he went to Texas. Not only because it's a great hitter's ballpark, but
oh yeah,
you know, the fact he started out in left field, he ended up in center field and played well.
Well, it got him the contract, Desmond, that is, with the Rockies. I think a lot of people were surprised that he didn't get a chance to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, and then they put him at first. He got hurt.
Mm-hmm. 1-2 pitch is grounded to first base. So that's 9 ground ball outs for DeGrom, which is his MO. I mean, he obviously can strike you out, but he also, I mean, where he's made his bread and butter is the ground balls. 49% ground ball rate for most of last year.
You know, when a guy can throw in the mid to upper 90s, a lot of times it's elevated, so he'll get a lot of pop-ups. But DeGrom, I don't know how he does it because he's tall, but he stays. Remember Josh Johnson when he was in his prime with the Marlins? Big, tall guy, but I mean, he threw 95 at the knees. And when you're tall and you can throw down in the strike zone like that with velocity, it just seems like it gets on you that much quicker because you're thinking up all the time because they're so tall.
1 ball and 1 strike. Franco today is 2 for 2. Pulled off, 1-2. That's a pretty good pitch there, that slider.
Pretty good pull off too.
Yeah.
He got a base hit. He got jammed his first at bat and got a base hit. Got ahead in the count the second at bat and hit a rocket to left field for a base hit.
Reyes at third. And a 1-2-3 inning. 3 straight ground outs. 10 ground outs so far for Jacob DeGrom. And he's dealing right now. The Phils got 2 early. They lead it by 1 as we go to the 6th. Phillies of the week were ready for the bright lights on the first home night game of the season. The Phillies stepped to the plate in the first inning against the Nationals and were more than ready. 36-plus minutes, 68 pitches, 12 runs, 9 hits, 2 walks, and 2 sac flies later, the home team posted a franchise record for first-inning runs. They passed the baton in a total team effort, delivering a 17-3 win. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, tonight the Phillies have 6 hits and 2 runs against Jacob deGrom. They lead it 2-1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning, and Jose Reyes swings right over top of that slider, which he doesn't throw that many of them.
No, but that almost hit Reyes in the back foot.
Is that what happens when you're 1 for 25?
Yeah, it's swing mode. But again, he's pulling a Bryce Harper. No batting gloves for this at bat. Hope it's not the same result. You remember when Bryce went up there without his batting gloves, he had a base hit to right field.
Shallow center field. Galvis is out. He says he has it, and he makes the catch. Time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. All right, John, here we go. Who are the 3 Mets managers to lead the franchise to 2 postseason appearances?
I had it written down, now I forget. There we go. Davy Johnson.
Davy Johnson is one.
Bobby V.
Bobby Valentine, your partner,
my
right?
buddy.
Yep.
And my other buddy in the dugout now for the Mets, Terry Collins.
That's right. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Now, where did you know Terry from?
Played for him in winter ball. And it seemed like every year in the minor leagues we play. He was with the Dodgers then. We played in the Dodgers, you know, in their minor leagues. And Terry was always the coach. We moved up. You know, when I was in AA, he was there. When I was in AAA for 2 years, he was there. And then I got to play for him in winter ball. So we forged a nice
rivalry, friendship.
No, I can't be rivals with him. I love him. He's a good man.
Has he calmed down a lot since he was?
Oh gosh. Yeah, he prepared me for Larry Bowen that winter ball season.
Cabrera hits one out toward right center. Saunders is there as he gallops under it. Yeah, so you left winter ball thinking, all right, I've had enough of that, and then bam.
Well, my first big league spring training, the manager didn't show up.
Who was that? Dick Williams.
Dick Williams didn't show up. Forgot to tell him he was retiring, so we didn't have a manager. So our minor league coordinator was Steve Boris, so they named Steve the manager. Great man. He's since passed, but real calm, real like a fatherly figure. And you know, he knew he was only going to be there for a year, and they were grooming Larry because he was in AAA already. And man, then Hurricane Bo come flying in there. He shook things up.
Out toward right again. Saunders.
Quick at bats. We love it.
Well, this will be 8 in a row retired by Jared Eichhoff since that home run. He's allowed 1 hit since the first inning, 2 hits overall. We've played 5.5. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brought to you by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold, delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it. Well, it's been a nice night here at the ballpark. Hatfield Philly Frank Dollar Dog Night. The Phillies lead it 2-1 as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. And Michael Saunders will lead it off. It'll be Saunders, Rupp, and Brock Stassi.
This inning for Brock to get a hit.
Saunders thought about the bunt because of the shift. And
what's he saying? Breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. He gets a base hit. His first at bat, breaking ball, breaking ball. He tries to bunt. He's thinking, all right, if he throws me a slider again, I'm just going to
lay it down.
Lay it down. He throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball up. This game ain't fair.
Then back to a breaking ball.
Back to a breaking ball.
Now, with all that said, you know, when they face the Nationals again this weekend, it's probably going to go back to.
Yeah.
Change up. And he got him out front. And he picks up his second strikeout of the night. And it's the 500th career strikeout for Jacob deGrom. Taking a look at pitch cast.
It's just amazing the pitches that, you know, when he tries to think, okay, you know, I can lay down a bunt because Reyes is playing way over at the shortstop position. Just punch it down third, and I got me a knock. It's the only fastball he's seen in his 3 at-bats.
Here's Cameron Rupp with one away. They're really working the outside part of the plate to Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron looks like he's really off the plate.
Well, deGrom's got to tuck his jersey back in.
Yeah, because that's distracting, because, you know, when you're looking down at the belt when a pitcher's throwing 98 from up top, it's probably why you're not going to catch up to it. Mike Krukow used to act like he was going back to tie his shoe, and he put dirt on his left shoe. So when he kicked his leg up, you'd see a puff of smoke, like a puff of, you know, whatever.
And he would do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Out towards center. And Granderson scampers around, makes the catch.
So I knew.
That's actually pretty funny.
But I knew it was a struggle when I would catch myself every time I'd face him, and I was looking at his feet just to see if he was going to do it.
So would it be every pitch that he would do?
No. He'd pick his spots. He'd only do it a couple times a game. He wouldn't do it to like a couple times every hitter.
That is pretty
Once
funny.
or twice a game. So I would look, you know, and watch his feet, and he's winding up, and I'm like, wow, I'm probably not going to catch up to this. Come on, Brock.
Better swing. 95.
Yeah, it's amazing. Brock's been up here for what, a week? And already shifting him.
I wonder if the tendencies in the minors would be the same in the big leagues.
Well, I mean, how many Jacob deGroms are down there?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's nobody throwing like this on a consistent basis. You know, tomorrow the Phillies will see Harvey. You know, it's very similar. Three straight fastballs.
Yeah, it kind of looks like to me that Brock's just drifting. He's drifting into the ball, and that's why he's late. Then he throws an 88-mile-an-hour changeup, which I'm pretty sure probably not a pitch he saw very often in Lehigh Valley. The Iron Pigs.
Iron Pigs have gotten home runs from Hoskins and Cousins the last couple of days.
I'll be darned. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That one's hit well down the right field line. Hooking. Foul. All right, now that would have been cool if you're Brock Stassi.
This tonight's attendance, 33,359. 33,359.
So 1 and 2.
Like another changeup by DeGrom that just hung. 95 on the outer half, maybe.
They got him on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 3 strikeouts overall for DeGrom, and he's now retired 8 consecutive hitters. On to the 7th here in Philadelphia. The Phils hanging on to a 1-run lead. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. Phillies got 2 in the first inning. Michael Saunders had an RBI single, then a bases loaded walk, and then after that it's been Jared Eickhoff against Jacob deGrom. Pretty good pitcher's duel. Mets got a run and a home run by Jay Bruce, and he leads off the top of the 7th inning.
I guarantee you, if he throws a breaking ball to Jay Bruce, it's bounced. Or we hope it's bounced.
Throws with a changeup.
Fastball up, changeup, starts in. You think it's a fastball. You speed yourself up to try to catch up to it. And way out in front.
Josh Smoker's warming up in the pen for the Mets.
You got to get me a good rib smoker. That just reminded me.
Why don't you ask Bull what he? Well, Bull's got the just the grills out there.
I got a buddy in Kansas City that's gonna tell me which one I should get.
Ground ball foul. You looking for something for year round or just in the summer?
I live in Florida. It's year round.
Year round summer. You have to get 2 then. You have to have 1 up here and 1 down there.
Maybe I can get one I can pull with my truck.
Take it on the road with you.
Hey.
Comes Johnny.
You know,
how do you know? He's got some smoke coming out of the back.
I'm not bad at towing things. It's just if I have to pull in somewhere and I forget it's back there and I have to back up, that thing can hit anything, man.
3-2 to Bruce.
If he got that ball down, Bruce was late on that one.
He threw him a curveball in the dirt. And that is the third walk issue today from Jared Eichhoff. So base runner Curtis Granderson's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. It's time for our timeless moment presented by Coors Banquet. We'll bring you back to a simpler time. It was 1971 on this date when the Phillies won their first game played at Veterans Stadium. 4-1 over the Expos. Jim Bunning went 7 1/3 innings, allowed just 1 earned run, and 55,000 plus were on hand to watch that game as Veterans Stadium opened up. And your buddy, John Ariboa, with the first base hit. A single to right field in that game. First base hit in the vet.
Murph, I'm well aware that
he's mentioned that a time or two.
Well, if I had $1 for every time he mentioned it,
you'd have a lot of hot dogs.
You wouldn't be with us tonight? Is that what you're saying?
I'd see if I can buy out the Phillies owners and own the Phillies.
He has mentioned from time to time that it was one of his goals was to get the first hit.
Let me tell you something. We were at the vet before a game, sitting in the dugout. Daryl Knowles was our pitching coach. And Bo walks over to him. He goes, "Crook, you see that seat way up there? See that seat way up there?" I'm like, "Yeah." And Daryl's like, "Yeah, go ahead and tell him." "Yeah, I took Nosey up there." And I said, "Which one?" He said, "Like the first row, just over the left. You know how high that fence was at the vet, and that tarp was there.
Yep.
It was like in the first row, way up there."
Well, you know now to Granderson.
This ain't good. Tell you what, you got to be careful here. They will turn Granderson loose 3-0.
Neil Walker's on deck. Well, they did, and he fouled it away.
It's a good pitch, though, in on Granderson's hands. Just got in enough.
Confident enough to throw the slider in the count 3-1.
And that's the thing with Curtis is, you know, as long as he's been in baseball in the big leagues, he will chase. And you know, he had that 1 year a couple years ago. He's real selective, but you know, this is a situation right here. You might not have to throw him a strike to get him out.
Runner goes, pitch is grounded back toward the middle. Cesar's got it, flips to first, and it's off the glove of Stassi. Bruce will go to third, and that'll put runners on first and third with nobody out. Now, if Brock had held on, they would have gotten Granderson, I would believe, at first base.
Yeah, great play by Cesar. Look at his momentum taking him.
It wasn't as easy a play as I thought for Stassi.
You know, that's something that, you know, I know Brock's a great defender. You know, he has a great glove over there at first base, but that's one of those situations where, you know, if you're not sure, come off the base, get the ball, keep Jay Bruce at second base, where, you know, a hit now would have to score him instead of a fly ball, or, you know, even a ground ball double play is going to score him to tie this game.
Well, it scored an infield single and then an E4 to allow Bruce to go to third. It's the first error of the year for the Phils. They came into this game with no errors. They were one of 2 teams without an error. The Royals were the other one. And that's their first one here, and we're a week into the season. All right, so now the Phillies will set up to try to turn 2, which means they'll allow the run to score to get the outs here in the 7th inning. And Neil Walker is up. He's 0 for 1. Curveball, and it's 0-1.
Depending on how this inning plays out, do we could be the last we see of Jacob deGrom with no outs, a 7th hitter up, and Walker. I'm sure Rodriguez is getting ready for Duda.
Yeah, Duda's on deck.
See deGrom sitting there. He's not even preparing to hit.
Another curveball and another strike. It's 0-2.
Yeah, now here's where you want to go for the strikeout right here, and then try to get a double play out of the bat of Lucas Duda. But normally that's a pitch right there that just, I mean, you swing at that, it's going to get airborne. Driving that run, tie this game up, but Milwaukee took it.
Out toward right center field. Here comes Odubel Herrera. He's under it, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Bruce. The throw to the plate is going to die on its way. It gets away from Rupp. That'll allow Granderson to get to second base. And the Mets have tied it up. And now a Phillies team that had not committed an error in the first week of the season have committed 2 in this inning. Not the easiest of plays, but still. So a sac fly. And now the double play is out of order. They'll give the error to Cameron Rupp.
Odubel gets around this ball, and he kept the throw low, giving Stassi a chance. You see that last hop, it hit that lip of the grass and bounced up over the glove of Cameron Rupp, but I still think that's a ball you got to center that ball up, and you got the gear on, knock it down, and try to keep Granderson out of scoring position.
Well,
now the
intentional walk. If you blinked, you missed it. And Travis d'Arnaud, who's hit into a double play already, is the batter. d'Arnaud is 0 for 2. Michael Conforto is out in the on deck circle to pinch hit.
He played center field in last night's game.
He did. They've been trying to find a spot for him. First base, center field, left field.
Yeah, when he first came up, he had that beautiful swing the other way, and then all of a sudden he got pull happy and
fly ball to short right. Saunders comes in. He waits for it. 2 outs. And will it be Conforto? He's waiting. Nope, it doesn't look like it's going to be.
I guess they're going to let deGrom hit with 2 outs.
Or is it Wilmer Flores? No, it's going to be Wilmer Flores.
Wow. I guess they figured that they'd rather see Flores hit off a righty and Eichhoff than they would Conforto hit off
Joely Rodriguez. Phillies fans, have you checked out CSN's podcast? Jim Salisbury sits down with Phillies Director of Player Development Joe Jordan. They discuss the state of the farm system, which prospects he expects to impress this season. Listen and download at csnphilly.com. All right, so now Wilmer Flores. Curveball, and it's 0-1. Tried to get him to go fishing after that slider. Kind of thrown a couple more sliders tonight than he did in that first game.
I think that's the one he threw. To Jay Bruce, I think the 3-2 pitch had hit him in the back foot. Out towards center field. And Odubel settles under it. Well, think about it. It's
not a bad job by Eichhoff to get out of this inning by allowing just 1 run. It is an earned run despite the 2 errors. It's time to stretch. Freddie Galvis will lead it off when we get back. Minor league report. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. We mentioned that Rhys Hoskins homered in yesterday's game, the doubleheader. Yesmuel Valentin in game 2 was 3 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Andrew Poulin also hit his first home run for the Reading Titans yesterday. They lost to Portland 11-10. Clearwater defeated Dunedin 4-2, and Lakewood defeated Kannapolis 7-1.
What happened to Mickey?
Moniak is hitting 467 right now.
Like every time we show it, he has 2 or 3 hits.
He's got a hit in every game so far.
That'll work.
We just decided we'd throw some love to somebody else.
And well, sometimes you need.
Yeah. Tonight, Reading, they had 3 home runs. Kyle Martin hit his second one. Tromp hit his first, and Chase Numata hit his first. Cornelius Randolph singled a double for Clearwater, former first-round pick. Here's Josh Smoker. Mets bullpen has the 20th ERA, 20th best ERA in the majors. And Smoker on to face Freddie Galvis, batting right-handed. Last year he had an ERA of 4.70. Smoker did. Ramos and Neris warming up in the bullpen.
Be interesting to see if Freddie gets on base right here on first, and I wonder if they got Aaron Altherr in the on-deck circuit. I wonder if they would put someone else into bunt.
Maybe Blanco. Sharply to shortstop. Cabrera boots it for a moment, but he's got a strong enough arm to recover. And it will be Aaron Altherr.
This could be a good matchup for Altherr. Smoker's not that, overpowering lefty. It's gonna blow it past you. See if Altherr can get in front of one right here.
95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Take it back.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was throwing that hard. Just watching. Didn't look like he was throwing near as hard as DeGrom.
Comes back with that. It's 0-2.
I take that back.
This
95-84.
This is kind of the issue for Altherr, trying to keep himself sharp, learning how to be a pinch hitter, and that's been on the mind of Pete Mackanin, hasn't it, Murph?
It has indeed, Tom. It's one of the, I guess, one of the big challenges in this early part of the season for Pete Buchanan and the coaching staff is how to keep Aaron Altherr sharp. He came out of spring training as one of the hottest hitters in this lineup, but he's not going to get regular playing time with Michael Saunders and Howie Kendrick out there. However, you know, Pete is saying that he needs to continue to get him at bats, and he'll get them in the pinch hit role like he's getting right here. But we'll also see him, because he can play all three outfield positions and play him at a high level, we will see him, you know, more often than you would see a normal bench player. At least that's Pete's hope going forward, because he knows that if he sits on the bench for too long without getting his swings, he's going to start to lose them.
I think the other thing that's hard is, you know, Kendrick with his hit tonight is 7 for his last 16. Saunders has an RBI single tonight. He has 4 hits in his last 14 at bats. I mean, it's hard to sit these guys if they're going good.
Yeah. And you might see it against a really tough lefty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's no fun. If it's a really tough lefty, that means he's probably tough on both righties and lefties.
Everybody, yeah. Cesar is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. And that one's toward the hole. That'll be a base hit. So a 2-out single here in the 7th, and it brings Kendrick to the plate. All right, he's got to be thinking about running here, right? I mean, I know we have to wait and see what kind of move Smoker has. That may negate it.
Man, you might give Howie a strike here to see if he either can A, hit that hole, or, you know, hit one in a gap. But
starts him off with an 84-mile-an-hour changeup.
it looked like Cesar was bouncing back toward first on the, as soon as Smoker lifted his leg up. Not sure.
Pretty good job by DeGrom, or Darno, I should say, blocking that.
Real good play. Looked like some sort of cutter, slider, something that he just pulled. No, with a heck of a stop. We've seen Howie hit this ball, and hit some balls in this left center field gap, and you know, Cespedes looks like he's playing Howie to pull, and Granderson's over in center and shading him the other way.
Well, we saw that against the Nationals, where he was able to pull it into the gap in left center field.
And we know, look at that alignment right there. I mean, Jay Bruce is deep, no doubles, but Cespedes looks like he just hasn't moved, and Granderson shading. I think, you know, right now with Howie being ahead in the count 3-1, I think if I'm the Mets, I would move Granderson straight up. This is where Howie's he'll try to turn on one here. See if Cesar's running.
Inside, ball 4, 2 on, 2 outs.
Now here comes our man Odubel. See what he can fancy up for us here.
You know, Odubel has had a good start to the year. He has 1 hit tonight. He's been part of this walk parade, Murph, that the Phillies have put together, and it's all part of what Matt Stairs has talked about: the patience, the number of pitches seen, and just taking the free pass if it's given to them.
Yeah, you know, Tom, the one word we heard so much in spring was approach. Take a look at those numbers right there. That's through 7 games. Last season, 12 bases on balls. This season, 29 walks already at this point. That is pretty remarkable turnaround. They were able to do it during spring training. We're seeing a lot of patience at the plate. That is the kind of approach that the Phillies coaching staff was talking about, and they're seeing it early in this season.
Well, that's a good sign, and you hope that they can sustain it. One lefty for another. Jerry Blevins coming in to face Odubel Herrera. $25 or more. Take advantage of special group opportunities, including discounts, theme nights, party areas. Plenty of benefits and special options. There's also special fundraising opportunities. It's a great way to raise funds and awareness. For more information, go to Phillies.com/group tickets. Well, we're tied at 2. The Mets have exchanged one left-hander for another, as they'll bring in Jerry Blevins to replace Josh Smoker. Blevins, I would think, is a little funkier than Smoker.
Yeah, Smoker's kind of straight over the top. Probably not a real uncomfortable at bat for a left-handed hitter. You know, Blevins a little more, the experienced, of course. And this is why he's in their bullpen, to get out the best left-handed hitter on the team.
Odubel is 1 for 3 tonight. Whoa. That ball gets away on one hop, and now we've got some runners caught. Howie Kendrick caught coming off first, and he is out. Howie thought that Cesar was going to go, and that will end the inning. Well, that's not what the Phillies envisioned with Odubel up at the plate. We'll go to the 8th, tied up at 2. You buy Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Buy Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEF now or visit jefferson.edu. And buy your local Chevrolet dealers. We'll go to the top of the 8th inning. Mets 2, Phillies 2. It's time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Well, we take a look at this play right here. I mean, d'Arnaud did everything he could to make sure it kept around the plate.
Yeah, he's made a couple nice stops. He made a throw. And give Cabrera a lot of credit to go out there and get that ball. If that ball gets past him, you know, you're looking at second and third. And how he got caught not watching the runner in front of him when Hernandez couldn't see it. How he went, and there we go to end that inning. And that is our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Well,
how about the job Blevins did, huh? One pitch, 45 feet, and he gets
way
out of the inning.
Strike zone. So Reyes is 0 for 3 tonight. Check swing, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Joely Rodriguez is also warming up in the bullpen. The Phillies bullpen has been kind of shaken up today because of Genmar Gomez. He is no longer the closer, at least for the foreseeable future. Joaquin Benoit is. That's why, in case you're wondering why you saw Neris before, his role is not changing. And it's 1-2 to Reyes. Pete said he talked to Genmar today. One and two now to Reyes. Ground ball right side. And one out here in the 8th inning.
Tell you what, Reyes doesn't look good right now, does it?
One for 27 to start the year.
It's not very good, is it?
No. I think the Mets were hoping that he would get going here because he's had so much success against the Phillies during his career. As Struble Cabrera is the hitter, he's 1 for 3. He's doubled, struck out, and flied out. I believe that one may have gotten away, and Ramos started right back at Cabrera. That's kind of interesting.
Wow.
Did Alan Porter just warn both benches?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to watch a conversation with Rupp and Cabrera, but yeah, he did.
Pete McCannon's now coming out to talk to Porter. I mean, that was not even close for a guy that's got really good command.
Pete just got run.
I think he got run because they warned him. They warned both benches. Man, this is the hottest I think we've ever seen Pete McCannon. What were we just mentioning the other day? There's just never any arguing anymore.
I think he went out to ask, and apparently he didn't get the answer he wanted.
I don't think he did.
Here's where the home plate umpire, Alan Porter, needs to just turn his back.
Yeah, let Joe
walk
West
toward the
handle
third
it.
base. Let Joe's a crew chief, right? Let Joe handle it. You don't need to start yelling back and forth.
Well, this is where he ejected him. I think he just said, "Why did you eject me?" All right, so I think Bob is now going out McClure because Joe West wants to make sure that Ramos understands that there have been warnings issued. I mean, unless there's something else, unless Joe said, "Hey man, he's kind of wild. You might want to go out and talk to him."
Is there a history between the two? Is there?
Not that I remember. Honestly, not that I remember from last year.
You know, you got one out in a tied game.
You're not looking to put base runners on.
No. I mean, you know, look, it wasn't close, but it's irrelevant. It's higher. It's at the head or higher, and over top of your head. So that you know, I don't blame Cabrera for being upset whatsoever.
2 balls and no strikes.
And here's what you don't want. You don't want Ramos now trying to overthrow.
Getting all riled up.
Yeah, and now he starts casting balls and he walks him. This is, you know, and the last thing you want is to overthrow, to walk Cabrera and then overthrow to Cespedes, and he hits one 9 miles.
3-0 green light for Cabrera.
Yeah, that could have been, you're a veteran, you just got thrown at. Try to take him deep and get some revenge. But really, what other revenge does a hitter have? Could make for an interesting next
couple of days. Ball 4. So a 1-out walk. And we don't know what why Pete was thrown out. Our assumption is that he wasn't happy that they warned both benches.
Yeah, and that to me is a, you know, you just had a guy on your team threw at a guy. So they warn both benches, so there's no chance the Mets can retaliate unless they're willing to lose a pitcher and get a pitcher suspended.
Breaking ball to Cespedes. It's 0-1. Another breaking ball.
This is where you don't have to throw a strike.
Swing and a miss. There you go. Wasn't close to a strike, kind of like earlier in the game. 2 outs.
Yeah, he got through 2 sliders for takes, and then, you know, once you get 2 strikes on Cespedes, he's in swing mode.
Well, Larry Bowa is coming out. They're going to get the lefty Joely Rodriguez. Aderbry Ramos is going to check out of this ball game with a runner at first base. So we're tied up at 2 outs here at the top of the 8th inning in a pitching change. Fantastic new offer for all high school, college, and graduate students. It's called the Student Steal. Good for all home games in April and September. Order as many times as you like. You go to Phillies.com/Student Steal to order or show your student ID at any Citizens Bank Park ticket window on game day. All right, so they bring in Joely Rodriguez to face Jay Bruce with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Andres Blanco immediately went over to talk to Edubray Ramos. Again, John, I mean, last couple of years there's been issues with Hansel Robles, but nothing with Cabrera that I can remember. But he's at first base after walking.
Yeah,
I mean, he was right around the plate with everything else, except for the pitch to Cespedes, but he was trying to bounce that one.
Yeah. And you like to say effectively wild, but
just a bit outside.
That was a little high. That was a little in.
Yeah.
I know they had the whole thing with Robles and quick pitching and
correct. Yep. It was Cameron Rupp who was at the plate, but that had nothing to do with Cabrera. Now he has had at bats against Ramos. He was right on that pitch, and it smoked foul down the right field line. No balls and 1 strike to Bruce.
If you're going to get that slider to Jay Bruce, you better get it down and away.
Like
there
that.
You go. That's what I mean. He's another chase guy where now you got 3 pitches right now to mess with that you don't have to throw him a strike. And that front hip opened up. He's trying to go deep and make it a 4-2 game, and you pull that pitch for a home run.
Tried it again. So when you throw that pitch and you get that kind of swing, would you go fastball in, or away, and then throw it again?
You know, you go back to that same pitch. I know a lot of pitchers would say, let's throw a fastball in, but, you know, you risk hitting Jay Bruce if it's a fastball in, because you know now he's going to try to hang in on that slider.
And a high fly ball to deep right field. Forget about it. That's going to go off the second deck. A 2-run home run, and the Mets have taken a 4-2 lead. Wow. 1-run charge to the line of Ramos. And Jay Bruce has a 2-home run night.
And that's, you see where Cameron wants that pitch down. Cameron was kind of setting high on that pitch. Like, that's when you want to bounce again, or not bounce, but get it down.
Yeah.
This whole thing started a tie game. You're upset for some reason at a hitter. You throw one over his head. Some of these guys on the other team get a little upset about that stuff, and not that you play harder or whatever, but sometimes your focus gets a little bit better. It's uncalled for, to be honest with you. In a tie game, you don't send a message in a tie game.
Well,
there'll be more times if you feel that strongly about it. There'll be times somewhere during the year where you can take care of it. but you don't do it in a tie game.
Our crack crew in a production cavity came up with a home run that Cabrera hit last year against Ramos with a big bat flip. We were speculating it at that point, but it was a pretty good bat flip. And maybe it was in his cross since then, but it doesn't, as you said, it doesn't make it right. There's plenty of time to do it. 2-1 pitch to Granderson. He went around 2-2.
And did you say they're saying in the truck it was a walk-off?
Right. It happens. I think your point, though, is that there are other times that you could do it.
Yeah.
Three and 2 to Granderson.
No, this Met staff ain't a staff you want to get into a beanball war with.
Popped him up third base side. Franco is over, and he makes the catch. Nice play by Michael Franco along the railing. The inning is over, but the damage is done. Jay Bruce, a 2-run home run, his second home run of the night. He and Cabrera have helped the Mets to a 4-2 lead. .com tweeted out a little while ago there is history between Ramos and Cabrera. Cabrera's walk-off home run versus Ramos in September, big bat flip, etc. Well, here it is right here. Ramos on the mound, and that was the game winner for the Mets as the Mets were going on to the wild card. I have to admit, I totally forgot about that.
Well, but they're fighting for a postseason berth. Every win's crucial down the stretch for the Mets. Look, I'm not a fan of bat flips at all. I'm not a fan of standing there watching home runs. But the game has progressed to that right now, or changed to that way right now. I don't know, progressed, but has changed, and that's the way it's done now.
Well, here's Odubel Herrera to lead it off.
Let me ask you this. You know Ramos better than I do. If he had a chance to pitch the Phillies in an extra inning game, let's say he was the only pitcher left, and he struck out someone to clinch a wild card spot, would he celebrate?
I'm sure he would.
Or to get them a game closer to clinching a playoff spot? Absolutely.
Breaking ball outside, 2-0.
I mean, if that's the case, every time Odubel, it's a fly ball they throw at him.
Right.
It's part of the game now, and you know, I don't know if it's this make baseball fun again thing that everyone's trying to get their head around, but like I said, in a tied game, you just do not do it. Mets are hitting 200 as a team. They score on home runs, and now you just riled them up.
2-1 to Herrera. Yeah, they've got 3 of their 4 runs tonight thanks to the home run.
But here's what else. Even though they've worn both teams, now your hitters are on the defensive because you don't know if they're going to fire one at you.
Inside, and he fouls it away. It's 2-2.
Yeah, if it's like June 1st, maybe a little much with a walk-off, you know. But it was September 22nd, and they're fighting
for the wild card.
For the wild card.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Slow curve. And Odubel is struck out. And 1 out here in the 8th inning. And Maikel Franco is coming up.
Sped up his bat with that fastball in that Odubel was late on. And so Odubel trying to leak out to catch another fastball. Blevins throws that slow curveball in there to get him.
Franco is 2 for 3 tonight. His 2 hits came against DeGrom. Phillies have out hit the Mets, as John mentioned. You know, the 2 home runs. That's how they score their runs. Two-seam fastball from Blevins.
He is a crafty lefty. Run it away from righties. Throw that slow breaking ball, the changeup.
That's got him from the Nationals. They really didn't have to give too much up for him.
You know, I wonder though if Odubel would have got on, because Franco now is not the tying run, you wonder if Terry Collins would have went out and brought a righty in. There was one throwing out there.
Yeah, it was Robles that was throwing.
Oh, good. Let's just add fuel to that fire, huh?
I was thinking about that. Two and 2 to Franco. The end of the bat, foul. By the way, I went on Twitter in between innings. Phillies fans were right on it about what the reason was behind it. I mean, Jim had the tweet, and our production cavity had sort of researched it to find that video, but Phillies fans were right on it. Get outside, 3 and 2. And ball 4. So the tying run comes to the plate, as Franco's been on base 3 times tonight.
Yeah, he's had some pretty good at bats. Even the ground out to Reyes, he hit that ball sharply, just hit it on the ground. But that's a good sign for the Phillies. Matt Stairs, he's laying off a lot of tough pitches that he was chasing. The first 4 or 5 games of the season. Well, their lefty hit a homer off our lefty. Let's see if our lefty can hit one off theirs.
That one's on the inside corner, 0-1. Saunders had an RBI single in the first inning. He has since grounded out and struck out. Slow curve, 71 miles an hour.
But you got to understand why Saunders might be a little confused.
Until you pointed out, I mean, you're right. I mean, I would agree with that.
The Reds, the Nationals, I mean, 6 games, they were just trying to pound him in hard.
And then he finally solved it.
Yeah. I guess the Mets figured out, okay, he might be able to get to that pitch now, so let's trick him. Oh, man, that was, see that there, Blevins, quick pitched
him.
But he hung it. Sometimes when you do something that's not your natural motion, you'll make a bad pitch. When you see him here, he tried to go quicker, and he didn't really hang it, but it was a pitch that Saunders could get to down and in. Why he's quick pitching. Franco's not stealing.
That one is spun out towards center field. That'll drop for a hit. Franco will stop at second. And Cameron Rupp is coming up. Let's see what Terry Collins does. Collins probably going to go get the righty because you got Rupp up and then Stassi, and the Phillies would go to somebody else if the lefty stayed in for Stassi. And here he comes. So there's the signal to the pen. Robles was warming up, so he's going to commit to this ball game as the Phillies have 2 on with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
I'll tell you what, I was just going to say before Bruce hit the homer, Stassi's going to hit a walk-off homer, or he's going to hit a game-winning homer.
All right, we'll take it. It's on the books. Hopefully he gets up.
A chance.
Saturday, May 6th, will the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. It's the Fanatics Children's Book, the Fanatic About Reading Night here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a free book given out to all fans. Compliments of Comcast. It's the best rain delay ever. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Well, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning on a beautiful night here in Philadelphia. See, Center City's all lit up. Not a whole lot of traffic if you're roaming around the city. Phillies have some traffic on the base paths now as Hansel Robles will take over. Robles in his 4th game, a 7.71 ERA.
The Mets got their last lefty up in the pen, so maybe they. I mean, you wouldn't think they'd take Robles out to get to for Stassi, would you?
I don't think so.
Because you know that Tommy Joseph's coming out to hit if that's the case.
Well, here's Rupp, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and an RBI on that bases loaded walk. Fastball 0-1. Way outside. That's Josh Edgin. As John said, the last lefty in the pen for the Mets. Bouncer to shortstop. That could be 2. There's 1 and 2. And the side is retired. 6-4-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We've completed 8. We'll go to the 9th. It's a 2-run Mets lead. Scored 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th. This is the way the bottom of the 8th ended. You know, with the new rules on sliding into second base. Back when you played, John, that was no big deal right there.
The guy's 6'5". He's going to be high when he slides.
But he did say to Walker, "You all right?"
Yeah, I mean, those are 2 guys that started playing before that rule came in effect, so they're good with each other.
Yeah, well, you look at those kind of plays where you sit there and think, oh, if there's an errant throw, would he be out anyway because he started to bend and roll?
Pitch counts are trying to protect pitchers, and the rules are now trying to protect everyone else.
Here is Walker, and Walker swings at the first pitch, pops it up, back at first. One away. Every time a Phillies pitcher retires the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. The new Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. So 1 out here in the top of the 9th. All right, here's Duda. Duda is 0 for 1 with a couple of walks, including the intentional walk. And he swings at the first pitch right at Herrera. So much for taking some pitches here.
That working counts.
Adam Morgan, Phillies long man. Addison Reed, Mets closer. Outside 1-0. Reed is closing until Jeurys Familia comes off the suspended list.
Suspended
for domestic violence. Fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Darno is 0 for 3. Back toward the middle. Cesar gobbles it up. Inning is over. Well, there were some heroics yesterday for the Phillies as they broke a tie to win the ball game against the Nationals. Can they come from behind here? We'll find out as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning at Citizens Bank Park. Time now for our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. It wasn't his first home run. It was his second one.
Yeah, hanging slider by Joely Rodriguez. And, we told you before the game, the Mets score the majority of their runs on home runs. 3 of their 4 runs in this game via the home run ball.
Jay Bruce had 2 tonight. They only have 4 hits. 4.
2 homers.
2 homers and the walk. Here's Addison Reed. As we mentioned, his closing because Jeurys Familia is on the suspended list. So he is set to face Brock Stassi, Freddie Galvis, and then a pinch hitter for the pitcher spot. Well, let's see if the Phils have it in them to win it in their final at bat, or at least tie it and send it into extra innings.
2 bloops and a blast. That's all we need.
There's Brock Stassi, who has hit this tonight in 3 at-bats. Still looking to pick up his first major league hit. They'll play him to pull, as John pointed out in his last at-bat. On the infield, opposite way in the outfield. And it's 0-1.
What he seems like it's always 0-2, 1-2.
He's got a heck of a pitching performance tonight by Jared Eickhoff again. They scored the 2 runs early for him, but that was it. Jared went 7, allowed 3 hits and 2 runs.
7 shutout innings after that 2-run first for the Phils.
Stassi out in front, and that'll find the seats down the right field line. Nice catch by the gentleman who brought his glove. Two and two.
Need a base runner. Need a base runner. Come on, Brock.
Fouled a 92-mile-an-hour fastball away. This guy's life, baseball life, changed when the Mets picked him up from the Diamondbacks. Highly thought-of pitcher with the D-backs, who they finally designated for assignment. And he's had himself a decent run. Look out, Mickey.
Watch that hip, Mick.
Yeah, sore hips and all.
I mean, when he was with the White Sox, Addison Reed, I thought he was going to be one of the dominant closers in baseball for a long, long time, and then he just, his velocity went from, you know, mid to upper 90s to the low 90s.
Well, Stassi's getting some good hacks here. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. And a line drive out toward right center field. That's well hit. It is gone! The first major league hit for Brock Stassi is a solo home run to right center field. He drilled it. And the Phils are within 1.
Tell you what, after that many pitches by Brock Stassi, fighting balls off, pulling balls foul, he gets one out in front. That's what the Phillies saw in spring training. They had to drive the ball to the gaps. How great is that for the young man? Cameron Rupp that hit into double play. I got my walk off. Congratulations, Brock.
Well, he's got an adrenaline rush going. He makes a winner out of Murray Monastero and a McDonald's home run jackpot, who's just won $200. The last Phillies player to hit a home run with his first base hit was Darnell Sweeney. 1 ball, 1 strike to Galvis.
Come on, Freddie, work him now.
You know, Johnny got all those pitches. He was timing, and he kept throwing fastballs.
Well, you know, a solo home run doesn't beat you, but a walk in a home run ties it up. So
that's a good point.
And you know, that's the last thing you want to do is to walk a leadoff hitter. You know, that's the thing when you're the closer. Once that door closes, it don't open up till the game's over.
Have to negotiate with that gentleman right there to get that baseball back. Freddie leans into that one, fouls it off to the left. Murph went to college with the guy that got the ball, so maybe Murph can negotiate it.
I can work a deal, I think. That's Pat out there.
Is it Pat?
Yep.
Now, is that in St. Joe's or South Carolina?
Oh, good question. Or Holy Cross, which one?
It was St. Joe's.
St. Joe's,
yeah.
okay.
Murph, how many colleges did you go to?
Just one, John. Try to keep up.
On the outside corner, Galvis down looking. 1 out. And here's Daniel Nava.
Perfect
Perfect pitch right there by Addison Reed. Tough one right there. I mean, your only hope right there is to try to foul it off and live to see another pitch. But like we said, that a good fastball down and away. Really, really difficult pitch to hit.
Nava grounds the first pitch foul. That got a piece of Alan Porter. Darno's going to walk it off for him.
Yeah, Darno whiffed on this one. Right in the chest, huh?
Kind of flexes and hit him.
I mean, you think at some point they'll ever go back to that old bubble inner tube chest protector they used to wear?
Somebody will go old school one day.
Retro, throwback, umpires throwback unis.
Brock Stassi and Andrew Knapp each with their first major league hits the last couple of days. Stassi, the 22nd Philly to homer his first base hit. There's Nava that hits one to right field. Jay Bruce does a nice job cutting it off. So the tying run is aboard. Cesar Hernandez, yesterday's hero, is up now. Well, I mean, that's the benefit of playing as deep as the outfielders are. They're able to cut balls like that off.
Yeah, Jay Bruce took a good route to that ball. We talked about his strong throwing arm. Here's where if the Phillies lack one thing on their bench, it's speed.
Yeah, they've used the fastest guy in Altair.
We saw Roman Quinn used a few times in spring training as a pinch runner.
Fly ball center field. Granderson is back on it. Nava's tagging. And he'll hold up. 2 outs. Phillies down to their last out. That'll be Howie Kendrick.
Here's where we need you might see a righty on righty. Addison Russell to hold on to that slider a little long, bounce it past Darno. Get Nava to second. Let Howie work his magic.
Tomorrow we'll be back on CSN, and Clay Buchholz will be opposed by Matt Harvey. Kendrick can hit with 2 strikes, so he's being extra careful here. Try to get that runner in scoring position. There's Harvey. Jumped that 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and Kendrick just got a piece of it.
That's the hardest one he's thrown, isn't it? It's been around 91, 92. Guess he felt that adrenaline rush.
I felt it.
Did you? A little surge?
Yeah. I think Kendrick can pop it. 1-2 pitch coming. On the outside corner, strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Addison Reed. Brock Stassi hit his first major league home run. It was his first major league hit, but the Phillies fall just short as the Mets win game 1 by a final score of 4-3. Our Chevrolet player of the game, Jay Bruce, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, his 21st career multi-home run game. Brock Stassi, even though the Phils wound up losing, picks up his first major league hit, and it was a rocket out of the ballpark. So the Mets take game 1 of this 3-game series. They win it 4-3, despite the facts the Phils out hit them 10-4. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.